Greetings, everyone.
What's good?
So today we're going to talk about my arrival in Cameroon.
Days before you came to Cameroon, how was it like? How were you feeling like?
Oh, I was feeling really anxious days before, and I was feeling really nervous because I have never gotten on that big of a plane. First of all, I've never gotten on that big of a plane to travel, as well as I have never gone to a third world country.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal for me.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I watched a lot of movies, and I wasn't allowing those different fears or whatever to take over,
Right.
but I was aware at the same time. So, and I was traveling by myself. So I've never traveled by myself that far.
To a whole different continent.
Yes, to a whole different continent.
Yeah. Days before your arrival in Cameroon too, I was kind of like anxious to see you too. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted to see you too, and also I just wanted to know. I was so excited, too excited to know you. You know, because
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, through the phone we knew each other through the phone, but I wanted to like face to face.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Or like, is it gonna be like? One of my biggest things that I used to always ask him is how tall he was. And he always told me that he was 5'8". So I was hoping that like he wouldn't be. I'm 5'1", so I was hoping that he wouldn't be. So I was hoping that was just gonna be a perfect fit. I was hoping that he wasn't too tall or too short. I was hoping that. So that was one of the things that was kind of like, is he gonna really be as tall as he says he is? Or I mean, that's not tall, but is he? You know, I was trying to figure out like. So I was excited to see that. As most importantly, I was excited to see just what kind of person he is. All of this, getting to know each other over the phone and through FaceTime and social media and phone calls doesn't match who he truly is in person.
Right.
So I was pretty hyped up and excited to see what it was going to be in person as well.
Okay.
And yeah, there's other things I was excited about too, but those were like the main things before traveling that was crossing my mind.
Then during your journey, the day you were traveling to Cameroon, and how was it like? Did anything change from those feelings?
First of all, I had to buy a luggage set, so I intentionally bought a yellow, which is my favorite color. I bought a yellow luggage set. It was a 3-piece because I wanted it to be the only yellow luggage case at the airport. And I did that. That was a little bit of paranoia, I would say, just because I'm like, I want people to know that that's Jada's luggage right there, that Jada is here. So I told everybody to look out for a yellow luggage set, and that's me. I became more anxious on that day because this was real. I'm like, this is not a dream anymore. This is not us planning. This is not us planning for this to happen anymore. This is actually the day that I'm traveling. So I was like, oh shit. Like, okay, I gotta cross all my T's and dot all my I's and make sure that, you know, I'm aware of what's going on around me because I don't speak French. So when I was traveling, I had 2 stops, layovers. The first one was a layover, but the second one was like more like a stop for gas. And my first layover was in Paris. And I've never been to Paris and I don't speak French, and the airport was really overwhelming. The flight was really long to Paris, just coming from the west side of the United States. So all I remember is that my butt was cramping on this plane. I was really anxious. I ate and everything like that. But when I got off that plane, it was just like a relief. I'm like, okay, one leg done, another one to go. So I had a long layover at the Paris airport intentionally because I didn't want to miss any connecting. If the flight was late or anything like that, I didn't want to miss any connecting flights. So I intentionally scheduled myself like a 7-hour layover in Paris. And the next layover or gas stop was in Malabo in Africa. And when I was in Malabo, it was supposed to be for like a 40-minute stop to get gas. I don't know how long it takes for planes to get gas. But in Malabo, we were there for 2 hours, like probably over 2 hours in Malabo.
Yeah.
And they were I'm like, I thought we were just getting gas. The people in Malabo Airport,
Yeah.
the workers are coming in to clean out the plane. I'm like, okay, they need to include this in the instructions, what's going on.
Yeah.
They need to include this in my package just so I can know exactly what's going on.
Yeah. I remember on that day we was at the Douala Airport, me, my two friends, and my aunt. We sat at the airport for too long because I was looking at the time like, you were supposed to be here. What's happening?
It was late. Yeah, people were on that plane wasting time. People were, like, the passenger, at the point where we were time to take off, the passenger is like, or I mean, not the passenger, the driver of the plane is like waiting for everybody to sit and be seatbelted. Mind you, we had 2 hours at that airport, at the Malabo Airport, waiting to take off. So people are on the plane, the passengers on the plane are getting up at the last minute that we're about to go use the bathroom.
That's so
annoying. You can't tell
annoying.
me that your bladder wasn't full for this whole 2 hours we've been sitting here. Like that.
That's so annoying.
Like we were literally
real.
waiting. So we waited like an extra 30 minutes after the 2 hours for all these bathroom breaks. There's no breaks. There's only so many bathrooms on the plane. So I'm like, oh my God. And then people got out the bottle of the
That's
Hennessy
crazy.
that they got from Paris and start drinking. Like, they're having a whole party. I'm like, can I get off this plane? Like, y'all can do this when we get off the plane. I'm like, I don't got time. I'm tired and I want to get off this plane. It's been a long day for me.
Yeah.
So
the flight from Malabo to Douala was just like 30 minutes.
yeah,
So
maybe
you-
like 30. I
45,
can't remember exactly, but it was
45
short.
minutes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a short flight. It was right there. So when I stepped the foot off the plane, the first thing that happened when I stepped the foot off the plane, I just smelled. I just smelled the air after I stepped the foot off the plane in Cameroon at the Douala Airport. And the first thing I smelled was sea bass fish. I just smelled sea bass fish. Strong sea bass. It couldn't even been rotten sea bass fish. It was so potent because we were so close. The Douala Airport is so close to the ocean. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But the airport is so strong there. If anybody's been to the Douala Airport, I don't know if you guys can relate.
The
but
ocean is just,
Yeah.
Douala is located close to the ocean, so.
yeah. So it smelled, it smelled like fish, like
Yeah.
very strong fish to me. And another thing that happened, I stepped off the plane. People started to ask me for money. Workers started to ask me for money. I don't think it was because they don't have money. I think it was just that they were just trying to bribe.
Yeah, it's a bribe.
Yeah, just trying to bribe me.
Trying to make you feel like,
No, I don't speak. I
you
don't
don't speak French, you're not
Yeah.
from Cameroon,
Yeah.
or they might make you feel like you're lacking a document.
Right.
So you need to bribe.
Yeah, I had
them,
all my
so-
documents. Everything was legit. But I've also experienced that in Mexico. I've also experienced that in other places as well. So that's really all around the world. Like, you're gonna expect to get bribed, expect to have hopefully you can have a tough skin.
Yeah. When I saw her, we were just out of the airport and I was just looking around the airport because I was not permitted to go in the airport to pick her up. So I was
That's
outside
right.
of the airport. So
Yes.
I just kept looking around to see if I'm going to see her from a distance. Also, it was my first time that I was really going to see her face to face. And it was in the night. So it was kind of like a little
really late.
difficult for me to so I had to be really, really attentive.
Yes. I remember it was really late. I grabbed my luggage from the baggage claim and I walked outside. There was no service at the airport. So I walked outside and then I eventually saw his cousin. So then his cousin had alerted him that I was here and then I saw him.
Yeah. And she was just like lost in the airport. Like,
I was lost. I was just
like,
taking everything in. I was just keeping my awareness open, really just allowing myself to embrace everything that I experienced just in that short amount of time. So yeah, when I got out the airport and grabbed my luggage and stuff like that, I was like, he's everything I wanted him to be. He's everything I wanted him to be. He was the height, he was perfect, he was just like a little guy.
You remember those days?
Yes, I remember. Of course, I remember those days. Come on.
What I remember, was you just standing like this, and you wasn't even moving. You were just like.
I was kind of frozen.
Then I had to
frozen.
grab you like, baby.
Yeah,
it's
I was
me."
kind of frozen. Yeah, I was kind of frozen because I was still in shock. I was like, I'm in Africa. I'm in Africa. I was speechless.
Yeah,
I was really.
It was a dream come
It
true.
was a
at
dream
that
come
time,
true, and I was
so.
speechless. And I was like, dang, like. And then my mindset shifted because I'm like, if I can do this, Africa can go to. And mind you, my parents and my family members were nervous for me. Most people will be nervous going somewhere, especially alone. So I was nervous for me too, but I didn't want to express those expressions in front of those people, my family, because I didn't want them to be even more worried.
We took her off the airport. We got in the car.
Yes.
And we was on our way. That night, it was still busy.
Yes, it was so busy. And like, all I remember was there was a whole bunch of bikes. In fact, it reminded me of the scene in this movie called Eat, Love, and Pray. Or maybe it's Love, Eat, and Pray. I'm sure you guys, some of you have seen the movie before. And it reminded me of the scene where the woman was on a journey. She was traveling to different countries around the world. And she was in India. And it reminded me of her experience when she was in India and when she was taking taxis and cabs and how busy it was. And that was what it was for me, because I saw that movie and I was like, this reminds me of this. Oh my gosh, this is real. And I've never seen that many bikes being at one place at the same time. I guess bikes is the main transportation in Cameroon. So that was new for me. I wasn't expecting that. So that was all that was new for me. So I was just embracing everything. Everything was moving really fast. Yeah.
When I saw her, she was exactly the person that I was expecting to be, and the height that I expected her to be.
I think I was the only one that made a big deal over the height.
And she was so beautiful. Yeah, cause your height on the phone, when we talk on the phone, it's kind of like different. When somebody sees you on the phone, they might think that you're a tall person or something.
Yeah.
But in real life, it's like and it was perfect for me.
Yeah,
and
you were perfect for me.
It was so beautiful, and I was like, oh, she's here. That made me so happy, and she was exactly the person that I was expecting her to be.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and he was everything that I wanted him to be as well. We had the gas in the tank. Now it's time to drive the vehicle to see like what our relationship with this was going to be. I knew it was going to be what it was going to be just because we put in a lot of time before that. So we did all the due diligence before that. But now it was just time to live it out. Just trying to live out our relationship. And you guys stay tuned for more in our next video. And we'll be talking a little bit more on our marriage.
Yeah.
And the rest of my trip in Cameroon. So you guys stay tuned for more.
Don't
forget to
comment,
comment, and subscribe.
See you.